I've put together a simple program for the Arduino in C programming language to help you practice Morse code. What it does is it will take your input, and I'll show you that in a second, and it will convert, say, this is a test, into the dits and das, or dots and dashes as you prefer, so that you can see those on the LED for pin 13, and you can also hear them through the speaker. So let's do a demo of that, and then we'll look at the software. This is the Arduino C code. It's going to take input characters that we give it over here on the serial monitor, and it will blink and sound out whatever we put in Morse code. The speaker is on pins 13 and ground, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let's begin the characters. We have a character of input characters, and this is captures what we are putting in at the serial monitor. We declare a string temp, and this is going to hold our dit DAWs. I'll show you that in a minute. We have an integer that is the time unit. So this is the length of a dit DAW. So the dit DAW is a dit or a dot is one time unit. And in this case, I declare it 300 milliseconds. Obviously, you can change that. We have an integer I, which is a loop variable. It's an index. The string of letters here is 26 long. It's the alphabet. This is A. This is B, C, D. And the only thing strange I did here was I made all of these 6 characters long. So you have a dit, da, and then you have 4 spaces. Here you have a da, dit, 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 and then 2 spaces, and so on and so on. This just simplifies looping through here. So I could use a while statement and whatever and check for the end. But I just made all these 6 characters long, and then I'm going to ignore the spaces. So yeah, just a simplification thing. Okay, so that's the alphabet. Let's go down to one of our required programs, the void setup. We declare the LED built-in, which is pin 13, as an output. That's so we can make the sound on it. We open our serial port at 9600, and then we print a line for the user to see. So this is Morse output, light and sound, lowercase characters only, lowercase letters only. That's important. I'm not going to simplify this, I'm only doing lowercase characters. Go down here. This is a dit or a dot, however you prefer to call it. This is the routine that will do that will output a dit. So the tone is on LED built-in, the frequency is 1000 Hertz, and the duration is 50. And then I delay 1 time unit. Or if it's a DAW, we'll execute this routine. And again, LED built-in, tone 1000, and 150. So the duration is 3 times that of the dit or the dot. Okay, moving down. This is the part, the routine that actually does the breaking down of the dits and the DAWs and outputting it to the Arduino's LED and the speaker. So I just called it Morse it, and the first thing we do is we print line. So we get letters that were input from the user, and we subtract 97. That's because a lowercase a is 97, and what we want is we want an index into our letters, which is this thing, and the first character is a 0. Is in the 0th position of that array. So in order to convert an A of 97 into a 0, we subtract 97. Okay, that's probably pretty obvious to a lot of you. Then what we do is we take that value. So first we print it, and then we take that value and we put it in our temp variable. So this temp variable will contain, like for A, it's a dit DAW and then 4 spaces. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear that apart piece by piece. So we stuff it in here so we can do that. So we have this is our work area to do that. Next, we come down here and we do a for loop, and it starts at 0 until it's, as long as it's less than 6, and then it increments the I. So our switch is on temp of I, and again, so this contains all our dits and das, and it will walk through here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then stop. So if it's case of a dit, then what we're going to do is we're going to call the dit routine up here, and we're going to execute that. We'll send a tone onto pin 13 at 1000 hertz for 50 milliseconds, and then we will break. If it's a case of a dash, we'll call the DAW routine, which is up here. It's all the same, except it's going to be 150 milliseconds for the duration, and then we will break. When it hits the spaces that I put into this array, it will do nothing. It will just break and keep going on. And then at the end of the letter, it will do a time delay times 3, which I believe is also the standard for that. Our main loop, this is the other required loop for an Arduino. This is the one that runs forever. So it's asking if serial is available. In other words, there is something over here in COM3 in this window, and it's greater than 0. So in other words, something is there. It's going to get the input characters from serial read. And if the input characters are somewhere between lowercase a and lowercase z, again, we're only doing lowercase, then we're going to serial print the input character. So in other words, we're printing out to the screen down here what the user put in, and then we're going to print a space for just to make it look beautiful. Then we're going to call our Morse routine, which is this one right here. And then if it's not somewhere, if it's not serial available, it's just, I'm sorry, if it's not input characters, then it's just going to come down here and print a line and basically, yeah, not do anything. It will just repeat this loop over and over and over forever, waiting for input. Okay, so that's it. A very simple circuit and a very simple program to help practice with Morse code. Okay, well, I hope you found that useful and interesting in your Arduino C programming.